Hi, all you cool cats and kittens. This is Mr. Ahlers helping you out with your Y7, Y8, Y7, Y9, and Y10 notes. I hope you enjoy it, and there we go. So we want to find cosine of 30 degrees. So I included a unit circle. So I'll include a unit circle on like the link maybe, and you can get a unit circle or type in unit circle. So cosine, remember, for the points, it's cosine, comma, sine. And you want to go to 30 degrees. So then cosine of sine is root 3 over 2. So you're going to type in square root 3 divided by 2. So then you have to use one of those special buttons. Cosine pi over 3. So you go to pi over 3. And then you want cosine, which is the first one. So that's 1/2. So I think you want to use that button. Cosine of pi. So you're going to go and look for pi, which is right here. And again, remember it's cosine, comma, sine. And that is -1. Cosine of 90. So you can go to 90 degrees, and you want cosine, so it's 0. Super easy when you have a unit circle. Sine of -180. Here it gets a little bit tricky. So this is going in the positive direction. So negative direction. So remember, this is 360. So if you want to go -180, this is -90. So -180, -90, -270, -30, -60, -45, -60, -90, -120, -135, -150, -180, -210, -225, -240, -270, which I already wrote, -300, -315, and then -330. So then we want this one. That's -180. This 180 just happens to be the same, and you want it to be sine. So that's, remember, it's cosine, sine. So that's going to be 0. Sine of 315, so you get a 315, and then you want sine. So it's negative fraction root 2 over 2. This one is negative sine, -7 pi over 2. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So 7 pi over 2 isn't on here. And remember, since negative, we have to go backwards. So this is negative pi over 2, negative pi, negative 3 pi over 2, and then negative 2 pi. And we have to go around again. So then this is negative 5 pi over 2, negative 3 pi, and then negative 7 pi over 2. So we want this one, and we want the sine value, which is 1. So going around, you might have to go around multiple times. What I recommend doing, if you have that 7 pi over 2, is you subtract 4 pi over 2, and you end up getting, or you add 4 pi over 2, and you get negative 3 pi over 2. So then you can go that way. That's how I got this one right here. All right, so that's that part. So now going to Desmos. You're going to use Desmos, so you want to find sine of 83. And it says round to as an integer, or nearest 100, so 2 decimal places. So sine 83. How do you get sine? You go to functions, trig, sine 83. And here's the hard part. If you go to wrench, right now I'm in radian mode, so you have to switch to degrees. So it's 0.99, 0.99. Tangent of 2. How do I know it's degrees? Because there's a little degree symbol here. So you can go tangent, function, tangent, 2. So 0.03. Sine is 61. I don't know, it's going to be like It's like 0.88 maybe. Sine 61, 0.874, 0.87. And then now we have to do sine, cosine, and tangent of 87. Sine 87, function, cosine 87, function, and then tangent 87. And this is going to be, that runs to 1.00, 0.05, and then 19.08. So just be careful about rounding. Cosecant of 24. Here's going to go functions, cosecant 24, 2.46. Be careful about rounding. 1021. 0.38. Maybe write this, that'll be okay as well. Ooh, now we have to do the radians. So because it's a pi, it's in radians, I'm going to switch my mode. Wrench, radians, and I want cotangent of, what's it? Pi over 13. Pi divided by 13. So 4.06. How do I know not to use a calculator? How do I know to use a calculator for this? Because this number right here on bottom, the pi over 13, isn't a 4, a 2, a 3, or a 6. That's how I know. And the degrees aren't like multiples of 30 or 45. So tan 521. So back to degree mode. Tangent 521, negative 3.4. And the value of z. So cosine of negative 98. Functions, cosine negative 98 equals negative 1.4. So negative 1.4 equals z over 8 times both sides by 8. So z equals blank. So let's see, times 8. So you get that, or you get negative 0.14 times 8. So I'm not sure what they're going to take. I would use negative 1.11, but they may want you to type, like, I think that's what they want, but they may let you round earlier, so just be careful. All right, Y10. So again, now we're going to work backwards from Y7. So this time before we had the angle, and then we had to look for it. So now we need to look in the points for root 3 over 2 in the x portion. Remember, cosines first. So here's your, I didn't give you a unit circle. I have a unit circle here, which I'll use. So we're looking for cosine root 3 over 2. So here's your cosine root 3 over 2, and cosine 3 root 3 over 2 is right here. There's two different options. So it's 30 or 330. How do you know which one to use? You want this one because it says acute angle. All right, so this one is tangent root 3 over 2. So that one's hard because we don't have a tangent. So let me help you out. So for tangent, This is 1, negative 1, 1, or negative 1, no, positive 1 and negative 1. This one is sign of undefined. This is 0, 0, undefined. And then that over that, root 3 over 2, root 3, root 3, root 3 over 3, root 3 over 3, negative root 3, positive root 3, positive root 3, root 3, negative, negative root 3 over 3. And this is for tangent. So right here, we want tangent root 3 over 3. So that's either this option or this option here. But the question is, which one do we want? And we want it to be in an acute angle. So that's going to be pi over 6. So tangent root 3. So that's going to be this option here. So it's going to be pi over 3, or it's going to be 4 pi over 3. And we want the acute angle, so it's going to be pi over 3. An acute angle is in this region. This is an acute angle. All right, so now we want tangent of 0.8. And this is one where we don't have 0.8 is like a special one. So you have to use your calculator. So you're going to do functions, inverse tangent of 0.8. So it's 38.66. If it's an acute angle, I'm okay. And it is an acute angle when you want sine is equal to 1/2. So sine is equal to 1/2, so we want when it's y equals 1/2. What's there or there? Question is, it's an acute angle, so we want pi over 6. Sine of 1/2. Sine of 0.5, which is 1/2. So it's the same thing. But they want it in radians, so it's going to be pi over 6. But they want it as a decimal, so you need to type in pi over 6 as a decimal. Here. 0.52. Alright, so this one now, they have a different bound. So they want between from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2. So they want from here to here, this region. They want this region, because this is negative pi over 2, and this is pi over 2. And they want sine of negative 0.9. So when you find it backwards, you have to type in this way, 0.9. So we got 64. 64.16. 64.16. That's the positive, but we don't want it to be positive. We want it to be negative, so we want this one. So you want negative 64.16. So when this is negative and sine, you want it to be negative for that one. So same thing, sine of 0. Well, sine of 0 is just 0. So you want 0. Sine of negative 1. It's right here. I know it says 3 pi over 2, but technically it's negative pi over 2. There's your notes. Hopefully this helps. Mr. Bennett will be there for office hours on Tuesday, and I will be there on office hours for Thursday a little bit. And then your task is And 427 to 5, 1 is Y7, Y9, Y10, and then X6, 4 to 6, no, 3 to 6 is. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.